What is up, everyone? I'm Brandon Baddock with Disturbing the Priest. We are back with another episode. I am joined here by some lovely gentlemen. You want to introduce yourselves so I don't have to?
Funny, Nate. You start first.
All right, I'm Nate. I'm Nate Fillers. I guess I'm gonna be Nate F.
There you go. I can just be Dan. There's only one of me. What's up?
All right.
I'm
Hell
also
yeah.
That's sick. Friend
So,
of the show.
definitely friend of the show. So I'm joined by two fellow comedians and a musician or just a roommate.
I'm a musician, producer, music
He's
producer.
also a
Oh,
comedian.
hell yeah.
He just doesn't do stand-up.
No, I don't do stand-up. No.
Good choice.
All right. So, yeah, the better career choice. All right. So, progressive metal. Do you think the Beatles were the first like progressive rock band? Because that's like a debate.
That's a good question, actually.
That is really good.
I never thought of
Um,
them that way, but I guess some of their songs do kind of qualify, huh?
yeah, they do have a wide spectrum.
I think it's between the Beatles and Zappa, honestly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to progressive metal, I believe the first progressive metal band is Queensryche.
Okay.
And from there we got like Dream Theater, Opeth. My favorite progressive metal band's probably Death, like kind of the first
Mhm.
death metal band. Sound of Perseverance is godly,
Yep.
in my
We were
opinion.
just listening to that.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, awesome. You guys, should we just go around and just like what our favorite or one of our favorite progressive metal albums are?
Sure.
We can start with Nate Hilli.
Dude, I'm between saying whether I like Tool or A Perfect Circle more because I love Tool and their classics, but at the same time, I've like spam listened to, I forget what the name of the album is by A Perfect Circle, but with the one with the slug, the banana slug on the girl's
The
face.
13th step.
Yeah, like that album, I've like spam listened to so many times, and it's so good. That might have to be the one for me.
Yeah, I like it too.
That's a good one. I don't know. I feel like Tool's better, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's like the parent band. They are like better because like without them, A Perfect Circle never would have been a thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. And
there's
also
certain
like
catchiness.
and yeah, like that's a good point. But also like I just feel like musically too, like and comparing the two discographies, like
Yeah.
Undertow,
Yeah.
even Fear Inoculum, I think is like godly, like fantastic. And a lot of people were pretty mixed on that album, surprisingly.
I'll
all
just
right.
go and throw out my opinion right now. Just become the enemy of the show. That I really like the Tool songs that most people like, but there's so many songs on there that are just like, they're just okay. They're kind of just more atmosphere. They're more just kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Some
but
bird
like
Calling them white
noises.
noise?
no, but like a good Tool song is like, it's really good. But like
Okay.
6 and 2.
like the ones
Numa.
that aren't really chart toppers are kind of sounds. Sorry. I really couldn't get the new album. I probably just didn't listen to it enough, but I was like,
It was kind of all over the place, honestly. Like you even had like chocolate chip trip. Is that what it's called? Where it's like
Sure.
there's like bird noises.
yeah. See what that's
Am I
what I'm
the
talking
Tool
about.
expert here? It's just
I
like
mean-
there's like bird noises in it and whatnot.
Oh, that
It's
sounds
so
like
weird.
Mars Volta.
Yeah,
That's like
Mars Volta.
Volta style. They do the same shit.
It's like, it's fine, and it's really great in concert because it gives you like room to not get crushed by the pit. But like I usually skip those songs. But I mean, I loved 10,000 Days, but like the back half of 10,000 Days, it's like kind of just like, okay, it's just like
It Nate, it
That's
feels
it.
like I'm literally listening to the album right now.
Yeah,
All right, we're gonna
yeah.
introduce my buddy Julian here.
Okay.
Word.
He should be joining right now. Julian,
And for the
welcome to the
record,
show.
I'm not shitting on Tool. I'm not.
I am.
This is the guitarist of Nuclear Funeral and
Hello.
Yo, hello.
co-singer, I guess. And also Tool fan. We are doing some Tool trashing right now.
Oh, okay.
No, sort of. We're critiquing it. It's a tough
Alright.
critique. It's it's like it's hard because they're put so high on the pedestal that it's like they're not bad. They're good, but they're not all the way up. They're not all the way up.
So you think
The
side A?
thing is, so the thing with Tool, I find, is that they were like one of those bands that had like a bunch of big hits in like the 90s. So that's like why they're famous, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they're not the best band in the world, but I think they have some great songs.
Absolutely.
Cool vibes. Yeah. I mean, I can see why it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there
But
you go.
I mean, like I said, the ones that are fucking bangers are bangers.
For sure.
Yeah. What's everyone's favorite Tool record? I'm just curious.
The one with Anima.
That's called Anima, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Mine is the one with 10,000 days.
That's also called 10.
I don't know. It's just really sad. It's like an emotional thing. It's about his mom.
Mhm.
It is. Yeah. I actually forgot how emotional that record is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Undertow's my favorite. It's just I love how raw that album is. I think it has some bangers on it too. Just a fantastic record front to back. I think I have the record right here.
Oh shit.
Okay. I lied. I must have sold it on Discogs or something.
Fake fan.
Yeah. Hey, about Fear Inoculum, I think I do have. Oh my God! Look, Fear Inoculum's behind me the whole time.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
All right.
real.
Your license has been restored.
Arguably a better record, some might say.
Is that the new one? Which one is that?
That's the new one. That's the like 6 LP one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think Nate Hilli just had a stroke. So
Yeah, he said he had to go or something.
all right, rip Nate
We'll
Hilli.
just say,
We weren't nice enough to Tool.
yeah.
Tell them
Yeah.
we're sorry. And invite
Sorry,
them back.
Nate.
This is in the corner crying.
Tool's good, I swear.
Most
They
Tool
are good.
fans.
They are good, but like, all right. So
Sometimes.
I went
So
to
here's the thing.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. I hate Tool fans. I think they're a good band.
Yes.
I just some of the Tool fans are a little over the top.
It's like the Rick and
For
Morty
sure.
of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that's a good
probably
point.
the
sure.
worst progressive metal fan base, honestly.
It's rough.
I
Even, like,
honestly, a
progressive
lot of
music.
like prog fans in general, I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah.
As a
that's
prog
fair.
fan, I'm like, there are a lot of prog fans out there, super snobby. And
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like, it's just music, man, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, a
some
lot of
elitism.
elitist. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I once wore a Tool shirt and somebody yelled at me like, "Oh my God, Tool is the best band in the fucking world." Ah! And I was like,
The weird thing is we couldn't tell if he was kidding or not.
yeah.
He like became a parody of himself.
Classic Tool fan.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember your response was they're okay. Even though you were the one with the Tool shirt.
I was the one wearing the Tool shirt.
It is almost like, in a sense, like Joe Rogan metal too, because you do have that psychedelic element of it too.
Yeah.
You know, with
Dude,
like Third Eye and whatnot.
I jam the hell out of those songs though. I play 10,000 Days on the bass because those songs are fun as fuck to play. Vicarious is probably one of the funnest songs to play on the bass.
Great bass tones on
It's
on
so
the
good.
Tool albums too, especially
Yeah.
on 10,000 Days. I really
Yeah.
sonically, it's like one of my favorites.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
pop.
like, yeah, like the one thing I don't like about Fear Inoculum, I think they're like great songs, but I find the production's a little thinner.
Yeah,
Whereas
maybe
like
that's what it was.
with 10,000 Days, like the guitars are like really just fat sounding,
Yeah,
and it's just like a really full sound.
yeah. They also had like what, 11 years, 16
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
20
Like
years.
13
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
the
do you
hype
think they're
train was
gonna
too
do
it
another
big.
was really
record?
hype. I hope so.
No. At this
No?
rate, it'll be 27 years before the next.
Well,
record.
they took the break because of the lawsuit, right?
Lawsuit.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Shit. I thought other people were gonna know about that.
What
No,
lawsuit?
I know what you mean. It's when they were like, that's why their music wasn't on Spotify for so long, because they're like trying to like preserve their right to the music or something like that. And it was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I don't want to
Oh.
misspeak,
Gotcha.
but I remember there being like a battle that they were fighting, whether it was with the record label or with like the artist of the album art. I remember they were being brought to court for something.
I think they have a good relationship with the artist
Okay.
guy. I'm trying to blank on his name.
There was something, and I'm sorry, I am blanking. I'm bringing this to the table and I don't know anything about it. I just know that like I remember being like, why the hell hasn't Tool released something? And they're like, we would, but we're like battling legal issues. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Hmm.
And I just kind of left it at that because like I don't know law, so they're gonna probably just tell me some stuff that I don't know. They're just like, I don't
Is-
know. I can look it up right now if you want, but
Do
that-
it.
that
All right,
makes good.
let's pause the podcast.
No, okay, fair. Okay, fuck me. But yeah, I remember there was a reason why it took so long. It wasn't just like, oh, we can't think of songs. No, they were stuck somewhere.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it was like partially like I think from what I remember, what I heard, the reason their music wasn't on streaming for so long was because of like contract with like the label, something like that. So there might have been other issues there other than just streaming. But then it also seems like they just wanted to take a break, you know. Like
Okay.
like Maynard was pretty active with like some of his other bands and stuff, so
Mm.
it's just yeah, it seems like they're yeah, just
They're
taking
definitely in
some
full
time
swing
and-
now. It's
I
it's
just-
crazy how active that band is now after like being so rarely like playing live or just like hearing anything about them.
They were touring pretty frequently, I think, though.
No,
Like,
I
at least
think
like they were
their
playing
shows are
they were
great.
playing
They
a
had
lot
a
of
little-
festivals and stuff.
was it? I
For sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't think they did any tours though. I think it was
I know
just
they-
festival spots
Yeah, maybe.
because they did Boston Calling in 2017, I believe.
Mm.
But there wasn't like really any major tours until like lately, until Fear Inoculum came out, which I think was
Yeah,
like 10
probably.
years. Nate, what were you gonna say about
He
at
looked
a
it
point?
up.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke like, oh, I suddenly remembered. It says there's a mixture of Danny Carey seriously injuring himself, massive lawsuits, and the band second guessing themselves. So I guess what happened was, what I remember, there was a legal battle that they were doing, and that like put them in like this creative block. And then like they couldn't focus on anything because they're just like, ah. Yeah. So, I mean, the description that I got was like nothing. It was barely anything. I forgot. There's this.
Like a
Yeah,
tweet.
they didn't see that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
It's like basically just one paragraph.
For what it's worth, I do have an article up right here, and I can share my screen real quick.
Oh, that's
Go
true.
for it.
It says that it's disabled by the host, but
All
You
right,
can
let me
literally just-
let me grant you.
basically says Tool has settled multi-level lawsuit that started in 2007 when a friend of the band claimed that he had created artwork for the group and wanted credit for it. Then an insurance company that Tool had hired for the sole purpose of defending the band against lawsuits turned around and sued the band over technicalities regarding the case. The band countersued the insurer, with the case finally being resolved in their favor after 7 years. That was like in 2014 that I guess that got kind of fixed.
Oh man.
So
All
Okay.
right, well, that
it
makes
took them
sense
6
then.
years.
Yeah. Okay. No excuses. No, I remember reading though, like that took like a massive toll on their mental health. Like all of the band members went through like some heavy stuff. So
I think
Well,
the
maybe
real
that was-
reason is they don't have to.
yeah,
They didn't come
that's-
out with an album because they're rich as shit and they don't fucking have to do anything.
yeah.
They're
They're
just
probably
enjoying
loaded
life.
now.
Maynard's making his wine. He's living his best life.
Yeah.
They don't got to do it. That's why.
Mhm.
True.
That's the
They're
truth.
they're making so much money now. Like it's crazy that they're doing like the Garden in Boston and whatnot. I was actually surprised that they're doing like arenas, like they're doing huge venues.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely the biggest like progressive band to date.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, at least nowadays.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
prog
yeah.
metal.
Fair
Like
enough.
if you, yeah, I don't think you can compare them to like Rush.
Yeah, yeah. What does Rush do for venues? I've never like.
I don't know. I'm
I
just
think
saying,
they did the
like
Pavilion recently.
I don't really follow them too much, but I was just saying that like there are all these like classic prog bands that are probably playing like way bigger venues than, or maybe not way bigger venues than Tool, but like equal, and
Yeah,
have been doing so for decades.
Huh.
it is a big genre, Now, a band that does sell out pretty big venues is Iron Maiden, which is arguably progressive. What do you guys think about that? Because I think they are a progressive metal band.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like some of their songs definitely could qualify, but it's like, what percentage of your songs need to qualify as prog before like you're a prog band? You know what I mean? Because a lot of their songs,
Yeah.
like they have like 8-9 minute songs,
Yeah.
that definitely go through a lot of changes and sections, but they also have like 3-minute just like regular classic metal, British heavy metal songs that is not really that different from something like Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone like Crushing Ice or something.
Yeah. Who's
Oh, it's gone now.
oh
I think they totally are a progressive band, because like look at their new album. It's like every song is 10 minutes. It's like a 8 LP record.
Did they just come out with an album? I haven't heard it.
Yeah, they came out with an album this year. They're
Oh, wow.
Shit. I might have
yeah,
to check
this
that
year I
out.
believe. And then you look at stuff like from Power Slave, like Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, which is a 14-minute song, and it's super
Yeah.
like, oh my god, it's all over
Yeah.
the place.
Mhm.
They have so many epics, but again, you have like off their first album, you have a lot of like those just classic, almost like rock songs,
yeah.
where it's really just like maybe 3 chords. And so it's hard to argue, I guess. Like I think a lot of their stuff is progressive, and I would definitely call them like today, right now, a progressive band, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've done enough. I think you can pull stuff from their older catalog and newer catalog,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm
again,
cool with that.
I do see like even Fear of the Dark has a lot of a lot going on in it, I feel like, and like even some of their biggest hits. But at the same time, you get some of those shorter songs.
Yeah.
I think like in my opinion, in order for something to be progressive, it doesn't just have to be long. Like you can have
Oh, no.
a long
Yeah.
song
Yeah.
that's not like a prog song.
Yeah.
Like a pretty defining characteristic of prog music is like complex like chord progressions, like odd time signatures, stuff like that, which are
And
really like
changing
staples.
those,
Yeah,
not
like
staying
really
the
like
same.
staples like across the genre. And I mean, I'd have to listen to the new Iron Maiden song, but I haven't like heard anything from them that really strikes me as like a prog song necessarily.
I would say the thing that makes something feel prog the most to me is how many different sections there are in the song. I mean, there's obviously more traits than that, but
Yeah.
that's like, I feel like the defining feature of prog is that like, it's almost like you go on a journey. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's almost where the word progressive comes from. It's like, it's progressing through the song, you know, it doesn't like come back to the chorus a lot, like, you know, radio music.
Verse, chorus, verse, chorus.
Yeah, it
verse,
doesn't have
chorus.
that structure. It kind of starts somewhere and ends somewhere completely different. And that's not
Mhm.
always the case, obviously, but
Right.
that's what I think of first when I think of the word prog.
Yeah.
That's just my
Yeah.
take.
I think for
Yeah.
me, Iron Maiden is just like so classic that it's hard to like put them anywhere else than like the classic rock like group.
Well, I mean,
Like they are progressive for
it's
sure.
also, well, it's
They
also
are.
like, do you
I would call
the
them like
Beatles
classic
progressive?
metal. Then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's hard, but you know, nowadays genres are just so mashed together anyway. So
I think bands just had more than one classification.
Yeah, it's
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot
you can be
of
prog
people
and also other stuff. Like,
I guess what we're
Totally.
getting at is that Iron Maiden's a fusion band.
I've like
Done.
heard arguments that they're like a power metal band too. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I
can
think they're
see
like
that, yeah.
probably like elements of Iron Maiden that kind of inspired power metal groups after them. So
For
Definitely.
sure.
I think it's
yeah,
like
definitely.
when you're looking at bands from like that era, there's like so many different like aspects of it that has sort of evolved because of their influence. Like
I definitely agree with that. And a lot of the bands that actually were inspired from Maiden are like the very classic progressive metal bands we know today, like Dream Theater. They pretty much just rehearsed Maiden songs when they were coming up. Where'd they all meet? What school?
Berkeley.
Yeah, Berkeley.
Yeah, Berkeley. Like they would all just be just jamming to like Maiden stuff. So there's definitely some, like, if anything, Maiden was planting the seeds for other bands to come up, and Dream Theater is one of the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I
How
mean,
do you
with
guys feel
like
about Dream Theater?
Oh, I love Liquid Tension Experiment. I made that joke when you brought it up. Like, I love Dream Theater, but James Labrie is it's an acquired taste. I think. Like, I could do without him, to be honest.
It's really
Yeah.
crazy because I feel like a lot of progressive metal bands like are known for like very good vocalists, and Dream Theater just isn't it. I think he was the second vocalist they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
But
I mean, he's
yikes.
got pipes, but I just feel like a lot of his singing isn't that interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
I also find the lyrics are often very like
Yeah, a little
corny,
cringy,
and it's a
yeah.
little just like all right.
Was that images and
Images and
whatever?
words.
Yeah, yeah.
Images and color.
Yeah,
Images and words.
and like he was pretty good, I guess, like back in the day, back in the 90s. But like if you watch some videos of him on like even touring this year, I think I saw a video where they took like the hardest vocal part of Metropolis 2 or 1 or whatever. It's the one song
yeah.
off, because there's the album and then the song.
For sure.
It's Metropolis off their first record.
Yeah.
There's a very hard vocal part, and they've taken that and like compared it through the years, and it's rough. Like you can literally see his voice fall apart over the years.
Yeah. I mean, that happens. It's like the instrument that will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that I also have a little bit of hard feelings between what happened with him and Mike Portney. Like,
Mm,
so there's that going against James a little bit. For those of you not
Yeah.
aware, Mike Portney was the drummer,
Mhm.
and he was a hell of a drummer. And he wanted to pursue other musical projects. It was only going to be for like a year, but like James didn't want anything to do with that. He's like, no, you're in this band or nothing. And like they basically were like, you can't be in this band if you're going to do other things. And he was just like, well, I'm not allowed to do other things. That's messed up. So he quit with the intention of joining back after he pursued the 1 year of work that he was going to do. And then they were just like, no, you can't join anymore, because like we hired somebody else. He quit his professor job to become the drummer. And yeah,
which is just crazy and so
they,
stupid.
they just wouldn't let him
Um,
back in. And he was just like, oh, that sucks. He was like, I would join in a heartbeat, but they were like, nah,
Yeah.
they won't let. And I love Mike Portney. I think he's a hell of a drummer. I don't think I can't remember the new guy. He's also a Mike.
Mike Mangini.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's really not. And he was in an episode of Time Warp. How bad can you be if you're on an episode of Time Warp where they slow down the drums and slow mo?
Oh, was that him?
That was
I
him.
remember that. Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's not even funny. Like I remember him say, like he's a good guy, but not the
Yeah,
same.
Not the OG.
yeah. He ended up like joining Avenged Sevenfold, right?
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He toured with Avenged Sevenfold. I forget for how long, but what a jump.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
that's right.
I mean, Mike
I mean,
Portnoy
he's
has been
making
in
money.
so much stuff at this
Yeah,
point.
Yeah.
he's doing fine. I'm
Um,
sad about it because I liked him.
Yeah. No,
I
he's
definitely,
awesome.
if you're into Dream Theater, I definitely recommend. Fuck, what's it called? There's another band that
Liquid
Mike
Tension?
Portnoy is, huh?
Liquid
Yeah,
Tension
well, Liquid
Experiment?
Tension Experiment, but
Five Finger
there's
Death
one
Punch.
that yeah, actually, it's a
Yellow
it's a
Card?
little band called Big Time Rush. I don't know if you guys heard of them. No, it was a band he started with the original keyboard player of Dream Theater, Bumblefoot on
Oh, yeah.
guitar. Can't believe I'm drawing a blank on what they were called. Wait,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
remember
search
Bumblefoot.
that up. But I've seen them live. They're a great group. They kind of have like those Dream Theater vibes, but in a way that like I've kind of gotten a little sick of the Dream Theater sound. I find it like it's
Yeah.
kind of repetitive. It's but yeah, so it has elements of that, but it's kind of its own thing. The band is called Sons of Apollo. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
awesome. They're really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
They're cool. Yeah, I feel like with Dream Theater, like even with their new record, it was just a lot of the same. You know
I mean,
what I
that
mean?
happens.
I haven't even listened to their new album. It's just like I'm kind of over it.
It's
Honestly-
got good songs on it. It's just again like there's better Dream Theater records out there.
Yeah.
I just wish they experimented more, and they kind of did that with their concept album in 2018. What was that called? It's like their most hated record.
Paintings on a wall inside my brain.
That sounds about right.
But it came out in like 2018, and like people just hated it. And I don't know. I thought it was cool, and I wish they like did more experimenting, because it's just
Yeah.
like, all right, let's just pump out another Dream Theater record. That's why I like bands like Opeth, where I feel like there's so much variety.
Yeah,
in, like a lot of
Opeth
their
is one of my
records.
favorite prog metal bands, even though they're more prog rock these days. But
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
But
they're
there's still great
they're coming
music.
back up. They took a little dip down into the prog rock lane, and I wasn't a big fan, honestly. But their newest album, they've actually picked up some of the heaviness a little bit more. And if their next album continues that trajectory, then I'm back in, baby.
Me too.
Yeah, I
Dude,
thought their new
they
album was
started it.
excellent.
Yeah, it's got some good stuff on it.
Opeth started metal for me. Like they
Oh,
were
really?
like, yeah. I don't. Was
Yeah.
it you too?
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
you
much.
sh- you
They,
showed
they,
me
they were like my entry
Yeah.
into.
Like
They were
Black-
the gateway drug into metal. For
Yeah.
me.
Same.
They were one of the bands for me. I guess one thing that about like Opeth that
Hell yeah.
Blackwater Park.
it kind of helped me appreciate was like the rough vocals, because
yeah,
like I was like,
Yeah,
okay, so
amazing.
like, because
Yep.
it's like really, if you're not into it already, it's really difficult to listen to like a death metal album, right?
Yeah. For
But
sure.
like if you listen to Opeth, it's like got excerpts of death metal in it, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, wait, so this is actually, this vocal style is like trying to convey a certain like
Yeah.
emotion, right?
Same.
It's like
page.
an
Yeah.
extension of like what you can normally sing.
Yeah.
It's just like another way of expressing.
Yeah, it's like taking a clean guitar and making it distorted, but for
Yeah.
vocals.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more of like a
yeah.
growl, where like
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of metal bands are known for screaming and like being really aggressive on the vocals. It was just like it was nice. It was
His
just a
well,
nice-
his growl has like a nice body to it. It's like it's very pleasing for a growl, like to the average non-metal listener. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
it's a lot easier, I think, to listen to his style of growling than a lot of other metal bands. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
factor.
I feel like the reason why I like Opeth more than Dream Theater is because they have way more tools in their toolkit. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
they can play with rough vocals and clean vocals, and I feel like
Yeah.
even instrumentally, like way more interesting and just way more variety.
They have more
Especially
indie-
comparing their
Exactly.
records.
yeah.
Just fantastic. And have they really like had a bad album?
Yeah,
Opeth.
yeah. Sorceress was not good.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like
and,
that?
And Heritage was also pretty bad.
Well, so here's for
Actually,
me.
I didn't
Heritage
mind it.
probably
I didn't
worst.
mind it.
For me, I'm like, so I really liked what Steven Wilson did with them, like
Oh man, are
Porcupine
we-
Tree. Like,
oh, I just saw Porcupine Tree.
yeah,
Like honestly, it's a really dangerous route to go, because I could talk about Steven Wilson's work for like literally the next 12 hours straight.
I know.
that's fair. That's fair.
Like,
I'm just saying-
genuinely like my favorite artist of all time.
I mean, he supplied so many good like backup harmonies, and like there are definitely riffs that you hear in Opeth that you're like, that's definitely Steven. Because you go on like a Porcupine Tree album, and you're like, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like he has like the same Blackwater Park. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got like the same kind of feel as Black as Eyes. I don't know. That's just but I mean his harmonies are fantastic. And I didn't even know it was him for the longest time. Like I just was like, oh, okay, these are good harmonies. And I was like, wait a second, that's Steven on the album.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I feel like Opeth was a really good transition to like a lot of other progressive bands, like Porcupine
like
Tree,
I've-
Animals as Leaders also.
Yeah.
For me,
So-
like I actually took the other way and like went more death metal, like more technical death metal from there.
Yep. That's me too. Yeah. I'm like into the
Mhm.
way complex, fast shit now.
Yeah. Same.
yeah.
So that's why like Dream Theater doesn't do it. Well, I guess they're kind of crazy with the guitars sometimes, but
Yeah.
nah, I'm into like blast beats and like fucking really fast
Hell yeah,
arpeggios.
man. Same. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Death was probably the biggest like Opeth into death was my gateway. Because I went right into The Sound of Perseverance. Did Nate Hilli die? Is
somebody
that
on
what we
fire.
heard?
He said he was trying to reconnect.
Yeah. But I think Death was like the next step for me. Just because it was amazing. Is someone's apartment on fire?
I
I don't know who that is. I mean,
that's probably me. Wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
I can't tell if that's
the
like a
classic Chicago.
Yeah, I
ambient
live in like
noise.
downtown Chicago, so the sirens are
oh yeah,
constant. Yeah.
true.
someone's always on fire
It's
there.
all those deep dish
Yeah.
pizzas.
Yeah,
Keep
it's like they
burning.
call in the ambulance because they're shitting too much.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I've been to Una's. I know.
Yeah. But no, Death, Sound of Perseverance is excellent. Amazing. It's probably my favorite progressive metal album.
Okay, so that's your pick.
Double LP, amazing. There's even a lot of and we were talking about like slow acoustic songs. Voice of
Oh, yeah.
Soul is like literally a 2-minute fully acoustic, or I think there's like there's an electric lead in it, but it's like it's pretty much an acoustic song.
Yeah.
You guys said you were just listening to it.
I just listened.
Yeah,
to
because he said that you had
Amazing
mentioned it
album.
earlier. And he was like, I don't remember if I heard Death. And I was like, dude, you definitely heard Death. So I played Crystal Mountain for him.
Oh my god.
And he was like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. I also
So-
listened to the Voice of the Soul before coming in here just to see like what their top Spotify song was.
Yeah, and it's not even like a metal song, really.
No, it's not. Oh,
That tends to be the case. Actually, with Opeth, their what is it? The one with window pane, fucking Deliverance.
Deliverance.
Or no, Damnation. Damnation, their soft album is only acoustic stuff and like soft shit. That's their most like successful album.
Yeah, honestly,
Just a wider audience.
this might be a little bit of a hot take, but Death is my favorite progressive metal vocals.
Interesting.
I love what like how Chuck sings. And just like
Yeah,
you hear him talk and he's so just like the super mellow, almost nerdy, and his voice is like so demonic and has so much like, maybe emotion's not the right word, but a lot of depth in his voice, I find, and it's just so fitting with the music. And also like Richard Christie on the drums. I think that whole album is like just a perfect storm. And for a band that started so traditional death metal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So interesting to get that progressive, especially like taking death metal in that route is really cool. And there's bands today that do it too, like Revocation and whatnot, and there's, oh my god, there's plenty. But Death are probably my favorite progressive metal band, which would probably lead into like a really cool discussion. Do you guys have like a favorite progressive metal band or like record?
So if this band counts as progressive metal, I think me and Nate might have the same one.
Yeah, so I might change mine just for the sake of variety, but it's basically the same one that he's about to say.
So I mean, my favorite band, period, is Protest the Hero. And they're
Nice.
like arguably post-hardcore, but I think of them more as progressive metal, at least after their first album.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
Fortress.
heard them, but they're fantastic.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
I mean,
they're cool. They're cool.
Their musicianship is incredible. I love the singer.
Yeah.
And just like they transition through so many different little like bits of music in such a amazing way. Like it's not just like hard cut and you're in a different like section, but like every 20 seconds they're doing something different. But like they weave it all together so well that I don't see a lot of bands doing it that way.
Yeah.
At least not not to the level of execution that they pull it off.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Also, massive influence on my bass playing. And I sent you the name of the bassist, and I couldn't pronounce his last name, but I believe his first name is Arf or Arf.
I believe it's Maribdolbagi.
Maribdolbagi.
Maribdolbagi. It's like
It's really long.
it's some kind of Middle Eastern.
That
Yeah,
sounds annoying to spell.
Yeah.
Just imagine being him like in like school, like every time you ever write your name on your paper.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fucking my parents suck.
Yeah.
Like
It's like Zach Galifianakis's joke. He's like, I failed the second grade because I couldn't spell my last name.
Yeah. Are you solving a
Um,
Rubik's Cube right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what I was hearing because I thought it was like ice, or it sounded like someone like putting ice in a drink or something.
I didn't see my oh wait, I guess this I'm so used to Discord. I
Yeah.
thought the
Yeah, push to
green
talk.
meant that like my mic was like
Yeah,
open, but
No, it's just always open.
it's always open.
all right.
All right, so I would agree that Fortress by Protest the Hero is up there. But for the sake of conversation, I will say that Colors by Between the Buried and Me is my favorite album,
Nice.
just because it has just like this journey feel to it where like all of the songs link together. And even so, when you get to the very last song, you can play the first song again and it goes right back into it. And it's just like, it starts off with this nice piano medley and it ends with a piano medley, but it does all sorts of crazy shit throughout the entire album, and it changes a lot, and there's lots of really fucking cool riffs in it.
Yeah.
It's hard to articulate the journey but it's a good time. There's not a single song on that album that I'm like, I can skip this one. No, all of
Yeah.
them. In fact, it's really hard because they're on my Spotify list, and sometimes the song will come up and I'll be like, oh no, I gotta have it go into the next song, but it never does because I have it on random or shuffle, if you will. And it just hurts to be like,
Yeah.
to get to the end of that song, you're like, oh, it's gonna flow right into this next song, and then it just goes into like fucking, I don't know, like Lady Gaga or something. And you're like, oh, this is different.
Especially if it has like an abrupt ending.
Yeah.
That is only abrupt because it's supposed to transition into the next song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. I always take it off random when that happens too.
I almost wish Colors was just like a single song. Like just
I wish like on
that.
Spotify you could like group songs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
That'd
like a
be cool.
playlist, it's like if you play this song, you always play this one after it.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
keep
Yeah.
like shuffling or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that would be dope.
But I can see people being a little iffy on the singer of Between the Buried and Me, because
I can see that.
He's a little bit more aggressive than, like, I don't know, most people care to try. But I mean, I had Opeth to practice through, so like, and then Opeth brought me to other bands that were way more harsh. So I was just like, okay. But I almost wish they came out with an instrumental of Colors, because I want to show that album to so many people that would just dismiss it because of the vocals.
Yeah.
That's honestly an episode within itself. Just like bands that you can't really like.
Megadeth.
I will defend Dave's vocals to the death. I love.
Oh, I'm
Dave's
cool with them, but I
as a
know.
singer.
Wait,
Like,
will you defend them to the Megadeth?
The Mega
Yeah, no,
Dave.
we were talking about him before. Like,
His
fucking
new
their
album's
music
fantastic.
their music is so good. But
well,
Have you
One
heard
of
his new record? It came out like 3 weeks ago.
no.
The Sick, the Dying, the Dead. It's amazing. It's really good.
I
It's
got
the
it.
best. It's the best album they've put out in like years, in my opinion.
oh,
I gotta say, I
Nothing
started
will ever-
listening to it. I got bored like halfway through.
Yeah. I feel like that's how it's gonna be for me, TBH.
Not a thrash
Well-
metal fan.
No, I love thrash metal, but once you've heard Rust in Peace, like
it's hard.
That is.
it's only gonna be a disappointment.
Yeah,
Anything
I'll
else.
be honest. Rust in Peace is like the greatest thrash metal record of all time.
So
I think
I
hands
agree.
down.
I think it's one of the best
Um,
metal albums ever made.
yeah.
Yeah.
same.
Oh yeah. Just front to back, every 5 Magics, Poison Was the Cure. There's some
Yep.
amazing tracks on that. But listen, in terms of like, I'll go back to like one of, I said Death, but one of my favorite prog albums, where if it wasn't for the vocals and like some of the lyrics, fucking Dream Theater's
Scenes from memory, yeah.
I love how
concept
you have
record.
like physical props for all these.
Only a
We
few
have-
of them.
We have ours, right?
I have 4.
Here's my whole
Which is-
Dream Theater
It's in my-
collection
it's in my
behind me.
closet. Oh, okay.
I have every
Oh, yeah, you
live
got a lot of
bootleg.
records over there, huh?
It's every Dream Theater live bootleg.
Nice.
So sometimes I get bored and I want to listen to everything from 98 to 2005. But no, I think Metropolis 2 is amazing. I think it's their best record. Dance of
I agree.
Eternity. I
Yep.
think it's so
It's
good.
so
I
fun.
think the
That's such
flow,
a fun song.
the flow in that album is amazing, and it's just
Yep.
so good.
We know why Dance of Eternity is so good is because James Labrie isn't on it.
yeah.
That's true. And they used most of that into like they did the instrumentally. I like that one too, where they just basically
Oh yeah, it's like a bunch of their songs
Yeah.
put together.
they just have
it's
fun.
a fantastic record. Like even Scene 6, like there's a lot of heavy songs on this, and there's some like really good breakdowns too.
Mhm.
And some of the more mellow parts are fine. You know what I mean? I'd prefer this over like any other Dream Theater record, personally.
That's
Yep.
fair.
I'm right there
think-
with you.
I think Images and Words is my favorite, just because like I don't always want to listen to like a whole, like how long's Metropolis Part 2?
It's a
13,
double
11,
LP.
it's
so-
part 1 too. So
It's like it's one of those albums that I feel like I can't just like be like, all right, I'm just gonna listen to a song, you know?
Because
Yeah.
the whole album's one song, pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Whereas
And
like
I
I
see
feel
that.
like Images and Words is like it has like some great songs in there.
I like
Yeah.
Train of Thought too.
yeah, Train of Thought's pretty good.
Yeah, Images and Words, like, don't get me wrong, is fantastic. Really
Also
good.
like it's like their debut album. It's like probably like one of the most like polished like debuts I know of.
One of the best like progressive metal debuts, if not the best. Because like I'm trying to think of all these other bands, like Images and Words, as a first album is insane. Even like people say like that's their best. I think that's like the most
Mhm.
common take, right? That Images and Words is like their best record. Because I'm trying to think of like what people will like hold as their magnum
I mean,
opus.
like also like I mean Octavarium
Yeah,
was
true.
like a really popular one.
That was 2006, right? I don't know why I know that.
Yeah, Images and Words,
I don't
that's
know.
92. I feel like progressive metal in general was a very 90s
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, like Pull Me Under. I don't know. I think that record is like commercially and just like on compared to everything else they've done, like their best if you're just trying to like listen to songs and like listen to
Mhm.
an album. But or no more songs, but if you're trying to listen to like an album, a record, I think Metropolis 2 is like just front to back the best. It's really just like one giant song. And it is a little weird with the beginning because it's like the clicking, it's the top the like clock or whatever
Yeah,
ticking,
Mhm.
and it's some guys like you're about to be in a trance. Like it's kind of weird. It's a really weird start to
Yeah.
a record.
Like it feels a little pretentious.
A little
but-
bit, yeah.
It's not as
It's
bad
like,
as
it's all, he
Arion.
might as well be like, you're about to have your fucking mind
It's
blown.
not as
Strap in the fucking seatbelts.
It's not as bad as Arion though.
Yeah.
Are
We
you-
could talk about Arion.
Are you familiar with Arion?
Not I know of them, but I'm not.
So they're
I
like a
haven't really-
progressive metal opera. Is
Yeah.
the best way to, like a rock
Oh,
opera.
God.
They're like the metal version of that.
Yeah,
But they have they use like a bunch of different other metal singers,
Like Devin
so
Townsend and
Devin
Michael-
Townsend.
Michael
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Devin Townsend's one of my favorites.
Michael
He's
Ackerfeld
cool.
from Opeth is on a record there. James Labrie is in there.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, they use a lot of different, like you'd know a lot of people on the record, but they all play like a different character. So like an opera, there's a
yeah.
lot of characters.
Devin
It, like,
Townsend
tells a story
yeah,
throughout
Devin
the
Townsend's
album.
Rage. Devin
That's
Well,
so weird.
yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's a little like a lot of it can be kind of cheesy. Just naturally with the fucking territory of what you're trying to do. But also it can be cheesy and like they just drop the ball and it's bad. But some stuff's really cool.
Yeah,
So I think they're
yeah.
worth checking out.
I mean, yeah.
It sounds a little campy too.
It's a little campy for
It's-
sure. If you
yeah.
like Dream Theater though, you would definitely like some of their stuff.
Yeah.
So it's worth a look.
Nice.
But
Well,
they
Julian,
are, it is pretentious a little bit.
it
Like,
does
yeah.
sound very pretentious, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I'll be checking them out. Julian, what was your top pick? If you have one.
Favorite prog metal band
Yeah, or
or,
record.
or record? Band is probably like Porcupine Tree.
Okay.
Nice.
Just, I mean, like one of the things that I think, like obviously, like prog music has like a certain sound to it, but what I really enjoy is like when bands are actually like being progressive and doing different stuff, you know? So I really appreciate like they have some like poppy stuff in there too. They got like a little bit of just everything, you know?
Yeah.
Which is probably what you want in like a progressive metal band, you know what I mean? Just like a variety of everything. Instead of like, again, like with newer Dream Theater stuff, it is like just literally every song times 10 on a double
Yeah.
LP. Just so excessive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to wrap up the podcast.
Word.
So thank you guys for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Julian,
Thanks
you
for
can
letting
see
me.
him. He is the guitarist of Nuclear Funeral. There's going to be a
Yep.
new project very soon. So
Yep.
keep an eye out
Sweet.
for that. We'll probably do an episode with just like the band. For like because we'll definitely start doing like a press tour
Yeah.
leading up to the new record. Nate Filler's comedy
It's like we're already
on
booked on the Tonight Show.
on
Oh,
Car-
yeah, true.
yeah, well,
We're there in 3 days. Yeah.
yeah, we're actually
doing,
playing on Carson.
We're doing a live performance of
time.
When the Trees Fall. Or When the Leaves Fall.
When the trees fall.
Dude, wait,
It's like
no,
it's a very green song. It's about deforestation. It's a
yeah, it's about I saw like this documentary on like the Amazon rainforest and it just brought me to tears. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
sobbed.
like, I need to spread the word.
Yeah. And Dan, do you have any socials or
Just check out Space Bear. It's me and him, we do like comedy music and shit.
Yeah.
So
cool.
check that out. It's a SBASS, like bass guitar, Space Bear.
Yeah.
Check that shit out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Check
Very
out Space
complicated.
Fair. Awesome name.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for joining. And this has been Disturbing the Priest.